Waiting for the rain. My to just surrender. I'm not holding back for anyone. Waiting for the rain.
Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I've been stuck on a memory, but it's not like I need it. And you may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Aussie Formula Racing for the Tier 2 division. And joining me tonight is Captain of Gold. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good mate. I am doing well, fresh off our race at the Bahrain International Circuit. So, should be a good one for the Tier 2 boys.
Yeah, absolutely. In for a cracking 29 laps here around the Sakir International Circuit. But preceding that will be the short qualifying, mate. And we're going to get that underway shortly for the 19 drivers that are attending tonight.
So, what are we thinking for quali times for the Tier 2 boys?
Well, tonight for Tier 1 it was a 25.4.
Yeah.
So it's 25s. We'll have a few on the 25s. Wait and see. Obviously, it's a little bit different for them with the short qualifying, not the Q1, Q2, Q3 action that we get in the Tier 1 competition. So we'll just have to wait and see what these boys can deliver.
I mean, regardless, from looking across all three tiers, it looks like it's going to be pretty tight, mate. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So here we are in qualifying. 17 minutes are on the clock, and first driver already out there, mate. It is Frozel in the Alfa Romeo. So he's going to kick us off this evening before we see some competitive lap times. And much like the real-life F1, it's a bit of a mystery early on the season. Who's going to be those who are going to be leading the pack throughout the season? Yet to find out. We'll just have to sit back, watch and enjoy these boys and girls deliver these lap times.
I'll tell you what, there's some lovely looking cars out there.
At Alfa Romeo, I know we both pilot one of these, mate. Gorgeous. Gorgeous looking car.
Good old Alfa Romanus, or Alfa Romance as we like to call it.
That's what we refer to it as. It's a bit of a romance, it's a bit of ministry, but it's a bit of quick pace. And we'll see what these boys can do tonight around the 15 corners of the Sakir International Circuit. 3 DRS zones, Mr. O'Gold, which is so powerful.
Yeah, if you fall out of the DRS zone, it's tough luck for you. You're going to have a tough time, especially depending on what setup you're running. Most of us running about 8 wing, 7 wing. And those on 8 wing found it pretty difficult to stay in the DRS zones, because obviously there's some massive trains. So you want to stay in those and you want to run your wings low, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's it, mate. So on board here with, it's actually the Aston Martin of Lick who's going to lead us away as he comes down towards turn number 1, about 100 metres onto the brakes firm. Try and pull it up nice and hard, hug that apex and then swing it through 2 and open up the DRS now through the right-handed kink of turn number 3. And then we're already towards the end of sector 1 around this tricky medium speed right-hander. Easy to wash wide here, but Lick's navigated that nicely as we come down through the sweepers, through the S's. It's so easy to invalidate your laps here. So easy to get one of those curbs, Gold, and unsettle the car and easily find yourself in one of the barriers here. But as we continue on down towards the very tricky, probably the toughest corner on the circuit, turn number 10. Well, it's a double left of 9 and 10 as you plunge downhill. Easy to lock that inside front, but Lick again going strong here as the DRS shuts again here at the end of turn number 11 as we climb the hill around this flat out turn number 12. And you don't want to be touching too much of these curbs either. Curbs here are deadly around the Sakir International Circuit, and that's a little bit wide, I think, from Lick on the exit of turn 13. But the final 2 corners to go, taken as 1. You turn it in 4th gear, pick up the throttle, short shift maybe to 5th, power towards the line, open up the DRS, and you wait for the number to come up in front of you. And it is a 126.7 from Lick to get us going.
That was a very clean banker lap from him. Very cautious on the throttle at some times, but that's alright. It's always good to get a time on the board, so good job to Lick at the moment. He's whole second ahead.
Yeah, that's it. It was a very solid banker lap, as you were saying, and it's what you really need to attack from the start of the session. You've got something to chase that's really competitive. Yeah,
100%. You want that confidence in the car and in yourself. If you're invalidating early, may set a few worries, so any lap time at the start's a good lap time. And as we get Psycho put in a 126.775, just 200s faster than Lick.
Yeah, it's a great time from Psycho. He was quick last week in Baku, and he looks to be quick again. Under the watchful eye of Mikau, who had incredible pace in Tier 1. Maybe passing down a few messages, a few tips of gold for how these boys can go fast as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, as I said before, you want to be very patient on the throttle. Otherwise, as you said before, you can find yourself in a wall. And I would say you also want to hook up all those apexes, because if you miss an apex, especially turn 1, and you go too deep, it's an uphill battle to find that lap time.
Yeah, absolutely. On board here with Combat Rat in the McLaren as he comes out of Sector 2 and Sector 3. It's pretty straightforward. It's basically it's 2 corners, but it's incredible how much time you can find just in those 2 corners. A couple of tenths will propel you up a couple positions, maybe come 000 at the end of the session.
That's a very respectable lap time on the mediums.
Yeah, definitely. So Combat Rat setting his time on the medium, maybe looking to save a pair of that soft compound tyre for the race in case there's some sort of late safety car. As Saggy Kid comes across the line and he improves by 3 tenths. Doesn't move a position, mate, but it puts himself half a second clear of Sneaky behind as Wahid in the Red Bull comes off into 3rd place.
A very good time. There we go, tumbling down as we go on. Smitty with a 1:26.667. Getting ever so close to those 125s, mate.
They're getting close. They can reach out and touch them almost. Just hit an apex, carry a little bit more speed. Nail the traction out of a few of these slow speed corners. Plenty of them around the circuit, and very, very easy to go a little bit too hard too early.
Like everyone's piling on to the pits. There's
Yeah,
a few.
We've got a couple on laps. I think we've got Memphis Reigns in the McLaren coming down towards the final couple of corners, but he's got the ERS switched off, so maybe he'll be going again.
Yeah, he's definitely going again. Oh no, he's coming into the pits.
Mr. Spicer, we can turn our attention to him. Coming through. Now, that's one of my worst corners on this circuit. It's so tricky to pull up the car and nail that apex and then nail the exit. There's just so many things you need to focus on down there at turn 8.
Yeah, you don't want to be too cautious with it, but also you don't want to be too aggressive. It's very easy to find yourself going with too much speed in there. Otherwise you miss the apex, and then the other thing is being that you could very well much get the apex too early, and that's not going to set you up for the next few corners.
No, it's not. So he's rounding turn 13 now, and he's going to try and get some sort of lap time on the board. Already 8 minutes into the session, mate, so we're nearly halfway. And only one run really completed by the drivers, so if they want to get 3 runs, they've got to get on with it.
Yeah, it's looking like there's a few that still need a set of lap time, possibly a few invalidated down there, but as I said, 10 minutes left, so it's probably about time for about 2 runs. 3, probably not, maybe on the same tyre, but yeah, you want to set those lap times. And so far, it's looking pretty competitive. Probably about a second between the top 10.
As Dalek goes to a 26.2.
Mashing it.
We're 2 tenths off the 25s. That's a great lap from Dalek. Puts him 4 tenths clear of the field. And that'll give him a lot of confidence as we go into the second half of this qualifying session.
Yeah, he's definitely said a statement there. 4 tenths next to his competitors, so what can he do? Maybe he can be the first one in the 25s. Certainly looking like it so far.
We've got Keeper here in the Silver Arrow, as he's running a little bit wide there, but gets away with it on the medium tyre. This man had some great pace in qualifying last week. And just 1 corner to go. So easy to touch that inside curb and really unsettle the car.
Oh,
Run a little bit wide, we'll pick up the throttle. So many things to do. And unfortunately just lost the rear end on the exit there, and that's cost him a good few tenths there as he's come towards the line.
Yeah, he went pretty low in the gears there. You probably want to say about 4th gear max. And went down as far as 2nd, so looks like he just lit up the rear tyres there.
Yeah, unfortunate for him. Who else have we got coming around the end of the lap? We got Kalios, mate. So in the second of the Mercedes, and he is yet to post a lap time, as is Mika and Memphis Rain. So those three looking to get a lap time on the board very shortly, I imagine.
Yeah, they looks like they're all starting laps now. Memphis making it through turn 1. Mika getting onto the final back straight before the checkered flag. So interesting to see what they
going
set.
second, mate. So that's a
Very
great lap
nice.
time. So that'll take a little bit of that pressure off his shoulder now that he's got a very good time on the board.
Yeah, so far no one's making to Dalek's region, but you know, we've still got 8 minutes left, so at the moment, advantage Dalek, but never know. Got some very fast boys and girls in here, so time will tell.
Absolutely, mate. And I think it is Zay in the Alfa Romeo who's coming down the back straight in the number 90 Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, currently 7 temps up, making their around this infamous turn 12.
Caught you out in qualifying, didn't it?
It did. It was a very rough one, mate. I would not say. If it
Wouldn't
wasn't
recommend
for
that
Cody's, yeah, wouldn't recommend the inside line, but
Yeah, we'll blame Marcel Kiefer for that one, as was
Yeah.
saying during the qualifying.
yeah,
They make it
Marcel
look so
may
easy,
be very
don't they?
fast, but yeah, as we see Zay knocking on the door of Dalek's time. Very nice, very nice.
Memphis up into the top 3 as well, so 26.584 for him. So the times are definitely dropping now.
Yeah, they're getting very close to each other right now, which is, you love to see nice and tight grid. Love to see nice and competitive grid, which looks like we're getting across most tiers, so we love to see that.
Yeah, that's it. It was a second covering Tier 1.
Yeah,
Not quite
even
sure
in
about Tier
Q1.
3. I was too busy sweating for Tier 1 as Desla stays 16th and Vasa in the other Alpine goes up to 13th. As I think we have one of the Williams crossing the line. No, it's Mika coming into the pit lane. As we have Wahid moving his way towards the top of the timing sheet of 126.3. And
Very
his
good
teammate
from him.
Sneaky is about to cross the line as well. He was definitely the quickest guy out last week, and he goes up into the top 4. It's a bit of an outlying track, this Bahrain. It's not really similar to any other track. It's quite unique, and it's very, very abrasive on the tyres, as a couple of the boys unfortunately found out at the end of Tier 1.
Yeah, some of those guys gambling out in the mediums. There's a few on the softs as well, but yeah, a few punctures. You want to be very, very careful on those tyres because what we say, mediums last about 20 laps or so.
Yeah, 22 laps it was when the puncture came in for Hero. At least that's what I can remember from whilst I was battling all the other cars. But yeah, I think he did 22 laps when it let go. But yeah, mine was definitely over 80% as we crossed the checkered flag on lap 29.
Yeah, you want to be really good with your tyres around here, otherwise might be victim to a puncture, and that's never good, especially when you're in a good position, mate. It's always a tough one to take.
Yeah, it was a gamble. We all knew we put them on very early at that safety car, and unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's a bit of luck. But you also got to try and manage these tyres, and tyre deg is very high here. It's upwards of 5% just for one qualifying run.
Yeah, especially if the formation lap add a few more percent on that, and that's not exactly what you want, but it's what you have to deal with at the start, and you have to think everyone's also in the same boat, so equal playing field. It's almost a better idea qualifying outside the top 10, get some freshies, but at the front, you always want to be at the front.
Yeah, definitely. I found out track position was very important in what was a very long DRS train initially prior to that safety car. Just couldn't move anywhere. Unfortunately, I think I was just stuck with a little bit too much downforce on the car, and it kept me sort of planted where I found myself after the first couple of corners.
Yeah, especially with the grid being so competitive, it's pretty rough. You just have to stand out compared to the others. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be a rough one.
And that's what puts so much more pressure on that qualifying session. Track position is key. And we didn't get to see it in Tier 1, but the undercut, extremely powerful here if you get off those wearing, degrading soft tyres early.
Yeah, but also, again with the punctures, you have to be pretty careful that you don't
go too early.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you'll feel the hurt at the end of the race, but if you can just hold on with track position, could work out well. And also the reverse strategy. Mate, soft tyre runners were flying at the end of the race. Multiple seconds a lap. They were just not even a chance I could hold them up.
Yeah, even without ERS, you weren't slowing down those soft tyres. As we said, memes are soft. Very good strategy around here. You'll be flying at the end of the race, and especially against those medium runners, you'll be laughing.
Yeah, it's crazy to think a track like this you can manage a medium soft or a soft medium.
Yeah.
It's this is one of the more knife edge tracks, but you know, it's still the fastest way to go about it.
Oh, especially if the ultimate strategy, it works a lot better because I mean fuel. There's less fuel at the end, so less pressure on the tyres to work as hard. So if you can get those softs or mediums to the end, you're very good. Like Combat Rat's flying through.
Yes,
he's 8 temps up on his time. Purple Sector 2, whether it's a genuine Purple Sector 2 or Codemasters, we'll never know. Looks like he's rocketing towards, hopefully finding himself better than P19 as he approaches final corner.
Well, if he finds a little bit more time, that was on the medium, his previous best, so they should put him in the mid 126s. It looked like a good final sector, and it's a 126.8 from Combat Rat. As we have just over a minute and a half to go in the session, mate.
May not be a bad position. I mean, P11 outside the top 10, not ideal, but again, that alternate strategy, very good.
Yeah, definitely, mate. So we'll pick up Frozel, mate. He's coming down towards the final couple of corners, and it was a purple sector indicated from him as well. But we'll see. Was it genuine? Was it not? He's going to have to find at least 4.5 tenths to D-rank Dalek at the top of the tables. And it's a 26.3, and it's enough for the top 3 at the moment. And there might be a bit of return serve with the toe for the Alfa Romeo boys here.
Yeah, just 3-4 milliseconds between Wahid and Frozel. So it's getting pretty competitive up the top. Yeah, there we go. There's the slip. Bang. That's teamwork at its finest.
Mate, just a tenth or two might be the difference between making the top 10, that extra couple of grid positions.
There it goes, his 400s up, so the toe's definitely done its job. Just can he hold on the time for the rest of the lap as he has a little bit of a squirm.
Switch over to Memphis Reigns, mate, coming out of the final corner in the McLaren. I think Combat's done a little bit of a toe, and he's into the pit lane, so no improvement on this occasion for him. So Saska currently in the final position of the grid as we go to 000, and he goes up one spot to 19th at 27.7 from that man. As here comes Keeper, and it's no improvement from him. It was then Psycho crossing the line in the AlphaTauri, and he stays 5th fastest. So turning our eyes to Zay now around the final corner, pretty even with his previous best through the second sector. Can he find time here as he comes towards the line?
Very
finds
nice.
a 10th, and he deranks his teammate, so his teammate's giving him a toe past him.
With the exact same time as Wahid.
That's it. So Wahid did it first. He holds onto it at the moment. We have a lick coming towards the stripe for the final time, and he goes fastest, mate. Position. It's a 26.1.
That's a very respectable time.
Anyone dethrone him? That's a great time. As a Williams is crossing the line now, that was Smitty, mate, and he went up to 6th place. As here come the two Red Bulls. Sneaky goes second, and Wahid comes across the line, and he goes 3rd. Just tucked in behind his teammate. Mr. Spicer goes up to 14th. So only a few cars to go now, one of them being Nemo, and he crosses the line now and he moves up to 16th place. And I think that is it for qualifying. It is. So Lick on pole position ahead of Sneaky. The same front row as last week. This could get spicy. They had a great duel last week. It's then Wahid, Kalios and Dalek, your top 5. Dalek with that stunning lap early, but invalidated that last run and was not able to improve.
That was extremely close again with the top 18 just separated by 1 second, mate. How's that?
The top 5, mate, separated by less than a tenth of a second.
Yeah, that's amazing.
97 hundredths of a second cover the top 5, and it's not much further down to the next 5 and the next 5 and the next 5 after that.
Collies, anything to go by. Looks like we're going to have ourselves a very close race. Hopefully some very good battles out there.
Could be fireworks, it could be flames. We'll wait and see. But a beautiful lap time from Lick to just lift himself ahead of Sneaky. 5 thousandths of a second. Wahid just a further 22 thousandths off of Lick. So close.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to see, especially so early into the season. Again, got some guys up there, Lick and Sneaky, both in the top 2 in the championship, even though there's already been one race, but I'm sure they'll be both looking to increase their championships, in championship leads rather. So it'll be good to see a good battle between those two.
Yeah, absolutely. So 29 laps ahead of us here at the Sakir International Circuit. Who's gonna come off on top? Let us know in the chat your predictions. We'd love to hear from all of you. And no surprise, it looks to be dry for the race in the middle of the desert.
That's unfortunate. I was looking forward to a bit of precipitation, mate.
I could use a little bit of a shower.
It gets hot. It gets very hot when you're hard at work on the racing sim, mate.
Yeah, all these lads are going to be putting in their best effort for the next 29 laps. It's hard work here. You can almost feel the heat through the screen, literally as your OLED, LED, whatever HCR screen you have beams heat down on your face.
Yeah, it's calm before the storm right now, as it looks like we're about to kick off in 30 seconds for the formation lap. So, should be right.
Formation lap is here tricky because you really don't want to be putting any extra scrub through your tyres. The one stop already hard enough.
Oh,
but
yes.
You need that temperature. It's a long run, 600 meters down to the first corner, Gold, and plenty of opportunity to make positions. Also, plenty of opportunity to get it wrong. If you saw the F2 sprint race last night, the pole sitter was 6 by turn 1.
Yeah, you need to have some pretty warm tyres around here, but also at the same time, as I found on the mediums, it's hard to keep those temperatures up to what you want them to be. And also, you have to account for the wear. You also, yeah, you want to account for that wear. And
yeah, definitely. Just looking at the tyres. So we only have 3 who have gone for the mediums. It is Combat Rat in P11, and it is Sazka and Diesler down in 19th and 20th positions. So it'll be interesting to see how Combat Rat goes. The softs faster initially, but not for long. The mediums quickly overtake them. Definitely the better race tyre to be on for the longer stints, but the soft's so quick out of the box.
yeah, those mediums guys will probably find themselves struggling for a few laps, but as soon as you said, those guys ahead of them will have all those warm softs, so a little small price to pay for a long-term game, so I'm sure it'll be alright.
Yeah, if you can just hold on to that DRS for the first couple of laps, that really holds you in good stead. If you can stay with that leading train, if you can position yourself in a place where you're going to profit from that alternate strategy, where you're going to come flying through on the softs at the end. But any safety car interjection could throw a bit of a spanner in the works for those three, as we saw in Tier 1.
Yeah, that DRS is going to be super crucial, especially for the mediums runners. So it'll be interesting to see what happens as we line up for the grid.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And bit of a big gap here between the field. Not quite sure what's going on, but we'll be formed up on the grid very, very shortly ahead of the lights going red on the gantry ahead of the drivers for 29 laps around the Sakir International Circuit. As a final car, the Alpine, pulls up to the grid, and we now await the lights here in Bahrain. Round 2 of Aussie Formula Racing. Thank you everyone who is live with us or watching back on the Twitch or the YouTube. We appreciate all the support, and so do these drivers. As the lights are coming on now, we have 3, we have 5 red lights. And here we go in Sakir, Bahrain. It's a great start from the Red Bull on the right-hand side. He's going to be challenging in as they fan out further back. Who's going to be making those dives? Who's going to be going for it side by side between the top 2 through the first corners? And Lick comes out ahead initially as they all 2 by 2 coming through turns 2 and 3 up the hill towards the second corner. Oh, sorry, the fourth corner. And there's a car in the wall. It is a Haas, mate. A Haas is in the wall.
Yeah, it was a very clean start for the most of them. Not sure not too sure what happened to Nemo, but he's lost all his wings, so looks like it's going to be a pretty tough uphill battle from here. But you never know. As we said before, some safety cars might come to play and we'll be right back in it.
Yeah, definitely Smitty and Dalek battling. Dalek down 5 positions off the start. He started P5, but he's dueling with Smitty here into 9 and 10. And with the inside line, he should be hanging on to that position. And he does, as Vasa looking up the inside of Smitty, trying to make an opportunistic move on the Williams driver.
Yeah, so far, so clean, mate. So we approach turn 12 for the most of the guys. No spins so far. That's what we love to see.
Absolutely. Car's running a little bit wide there, and Combat Rat on those medium tyres was saying that he might struggle initially. And he's fallen back behind the other 2 mediums from 11th. He's dropped 5 spots.
Yeah, extremely tough for him, but as he half looks for a dive and he's getting attacked by the Williams on his left and
for the lead. Here comes Sneaky. And a Lick on the outside line for turn number 1 as Codemasters just troll us with the camera angles, but he's taken the position of the Red Bull. Those two swapped many times last week. Will it be the case again this week? It was Sneaky who came out on top. As I think with 3 wide in the background, the 2 Alfa Romeos and the Alfa Tauri, and the McLaren just taking advantage of that, sweeping right around the outside of 2 of them.
Spicy.
And Frost was going to have to tuck back in there behind the Alfa Tauri. They were 3 wide coming up towards turn number 4.
Yeah, it did very well to navigate that as Haas goes for a bit of a dive and makes it stick, mate.
He makes it stick. They're just ahead of that Alfa Romeo as we come down towards the next section. And it's single file through here, really. Unless you're feeling very, very adventurous. And wow! No. Psycho just tagged by the front wing of Dalek. And he has been sent spinning around towards the back of the field. And unfortunately, that's just the mistake there from the Haas driver. Just got a little bit too eager with his right foot.
Yeah, very unfortunate start for Dalek. Down 8 places. It looked like he was going to have a very good lap time. He did have a very good lap time, pardon me, but yeah, it's all uphill at the moment. Again, still 27, 26 laps in this race, so it's all to play for.
The Sneaky leads us on to lap 3. The DRS will be enabled. The top 2 have once again broken away like they did last week, ahead of Kalios and Wahid battling for that final spot on the podium currently. The battle's all down at the field at the moment. The Mercedes and the Ferrari dueling through the first couple of corners. That is Keeper and the Saggy Kid. And still side by side, the DRS for both of them as they come up towards turn number
Sends
4.
it.
Inside line for the Mercedes. Goes very late on the brakes. Tries to push the Ferrari a little bit wide, but now the Ferrari is going to have the inside through the left-hander kink at 6. The Mercedes isn't giving up. He's going to try and keep his nose in there, and I think it's the Ferrari who's going to merge in the lead down at turn number 8.
I was very clean between those two. I'm sure this battle's far from over.
Swapping positions all the time down in the field. Mika, forehead, Diesel there. Oh, that's very deep from a couple of the drivers, the Alpine and the Aston Martin. Or a little bit of contact with the McLaren as well as they try and get back in line as we come down the straight once more time. And side by side, yes, Psycho and Diesel, and Psycho just barges him out of the way. Probably not too happy in that cockpit as the Aston Martin, and who's that around?
Williams has spun ahead. That is Mika.
And he's missing an M plate for his troubles.
Yeah, it just looks like he lost the rear going up that. It's very hard to keep it stable, especially on those soft tyres at the start of the race. So that's unfortunate.
Lick managed to hang on to the DRS. It got very, very close to a second, but he's managed to hold on to sneaking in front.
Looks like he might come get him here. He thinks about it, stays behind. He's going to harvest that to ERS and maybe go for a challenge later, mate.
As Frozel and Memphis resume their battle, and Frozel takes a position up at turn number 4 with the DRS, and I imagine quite a significant amount of that ERS boosted out of turn 3.
It looks like it's fizzled out a little bit at the moment. Everyone just settling into the race so far, getting some consistency under their belts.
Yeah, this is when you sort of try and settle in, think about who you're battling, thinking about those decisions. Do I go for it? Do I hold back? Lick, who's in P2, he's in a great spot right now. He's the car who's following, so he can really dictate the strategy as we're halfway through this stint already. But he's got to think about fuel as well, mate, because as you can see, he is underfueled, and it's about half a lap at the moment, so it's going to require a little bit of lift and coast here and there. But first thing that he's going to do is just hold on to that Rebel out in front.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing it pretty smart at the moment, as it looks like we may get an attack from Mohid on Kalios on the straight, as Kalios goes to defend to the right and makes it pretty easy, breezes past for P3.
Yeah, beautiful use of the ERS there, and it's very, very strong down that main straight. Such a long run, over a kilometre flat out from turn 15. Look at Smitty here, mate, for P8. He is absolutely pushing this McLaren.
Yeah, that McLaren's run out of energy as well. Smitty's got 33%, so if he can get, as the McLaren goes for a lunge, doesn't quite work out, but looks like he's still all in shape. If Smitty just plays it patient here, he'll probably get past the McLaren. And as he's closed up, yeah.
A little bit of traction lost there from the Williams. Probably a little bit too eager to get that throttle down to try and maybe challenge down here at turn 11, but it's so hard to make these moves when you're the third car. You're almost willing the car ahead of you to make the move on the car ahead, so you can sort of boost past on the same straight and then be the second car.
Yeah, exactly. And as we mentioned before, you need to have that throttle control, otherwise you may see yourself facing 180 degrees. As that ERS light is flashing on Memphis again, and maybe we might see Smitty have a go. Oh, as he just gets a bit too eager again.
And Kalios
as we
in
start
the pit lane.
first bidder.
That is pretty early from Kalios.
What tyres? He's going to go on the medium tyres. You reckon he thinks he can make it to the end? Probably, but it'll be interesting to see. 23 laps is a big stint on that tyre, but it's definitely not impossible.
Memphis with a little squeeze there on the Alfa Romeo. This is going to open the door for Smitty. This is what we were saying he was hoping for, that he could take advantage of the two dueling ahead. And he's gone in deep. He's actually tagged the McLaren on the braking, and it's lets Frozel slip back past again.
And now it's Frozel's time to attack Memphis. May not do it next straight. They probably will do it front straight. Memphis doesn't have much to defend with. Again, he's got that ERS light on. So it'll be interesting to see as we have a spin. That is Combat Rat.
Yeah, mate. Just sitting on board here with the Saggy kid. And he's probably got the best view in the house of this battle, but he's going for the move.
He's going for it. He's not waiting around.
He is not waiting around. He is using that ERS to good use as he's put himself down the inside of 11 and sweeps through 12 very nicely ahead of the Williams. That's a beautiful move from the start.
That's a very nice move. Now he's on the back of this battle between Memphis and Frozel, and looks like Frozel might get past next straight if he can get the exit down, Pat.
We know that McLaren doesn't have much battery to go.
Yeah, and he has got the exit down straight. So
Saggy Kid's got the ERS to do both of them.
Yep.
Or does he sit back in and enjoy as the lead switches hands? Lick moves back up.
He's not waiting around, mate. He just breaks a little bit early, gives Froz a little bit of a love tap, which allows Memphis to go through. It might give Memphis a chance to re-overtake.
Yeah, the DRS back again for the McLaren. And it's outside line. This is the line I like up here at turn 4. You can just try and sweep around the outside.
He just got a little bit poor drive out there.
Yeah, he just didn't quite get the drive to do it. So this is a great battle for 5th. Great respect being shown by these guys as well. Just such hard, clean racing.
Yeah, that's what you love to see at the end of the day. As we see Smitty behind, just having a little bit of a kick of oversteer.
And Dalek
that allows Dalek through.
So he's on the recovery drive after what could only be considered a very poor first couple of laps.
Yeah, so far so good for him.
Have a look at the lead once again. Lick took the position at the beginning of lap 7. So still going strong in the Aston Martin. They have a 2-second lead over the next car being Wahid in the second of the Red Bulls. And this also gives Lick a little bit of a headache. Wahid could pull that undercut and bring the Aston Martin in early.
Yeah, it just looks like Sneaky's just going to tuck him behind for the moment. It's a very smart idea. He's got all the battery in the world, so when he wants to use it, he's going to use it to get past.
Someone who doesn't have all the battery in the world is Memphis Rain. 0% as we were coming down the main straight. And that left him vulnerable to Saggy Kid in the Ferrari who snuck past.
Saggy's got a poor note. He gets dragged along by that ERS. As he gets spun around.
Oh no, he's gone around. And did he just tag the side of the Alfa Romeo?
Yeah, he went very deep on the brakes and just his front wing just hit the back of the Alfa Romeo Frozel, and then he's pendulum around.
Very unfortunate for him. No damage by the look of it on the car, as whoa, the forehead almost collected him. But unfortunately, that was just a bit of a mistake there.
Yeah, it's very easy to do.
It's so easy just to go that 5 meters too late in your battle to try and keep the car behind, or in the middle of an overtake, and not be thinking about that extra car who's just in front. And very easy to do that to yourself. So unfortunate for him. Great battles for the podium, great battles for the win, both involving the Red Bulls. So those two are looking very strong tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good all around, mate.
Into the pits, the leaders both come. So Lick from the lead pulls the car in, and Sneaky thinking, all right, I'm going to follow him in just so we stay together.
Yeah, you don't want to get that undercut, so it's almost a no-brainer going together, especially for Sneaky. So it's a good play from him.
Yeah, definitely. Here comes Zay, who's challenging now for what is the lead at the moment, and he moves past Wahid, who had to stay out an extra lap, being that his teammate just came in just ahead of him. And this could see him lose out massively. Interestingly, both Alfa Romeos choosing to stay out, not responding to the... Not really an undercut, it's about time for the pit stop. Just not responding to the trend of the field.
He might know something we don't know, mate. But again, just sticking to their own plan. That's never a bad idea. But
they got burnt like Mylander on speed dial, mate.
They might. It's always good to have him on the phone.
That's it. Punching the number of the Mercedes safety car here in Bahrain. and ask him to just nicely come out onto the circuit. But at the moment, I don't really see a safety car coming because the racing has been absolutely impeccable and so clean from these guys so far.
Yeah, so far so good, mate. It's just, there's been a few spins there, but nothing major to call a safety car out as Zay and Wahid call it quits on the soft tyres and come in. And
so do the McLaren and the Haas. And it is Frozel who's going to take the lead of the race now as he's going to go one more lap on these soft tyres as his teammate is in the pit lane. But we'll turn our eyes back to Lick and Sneaky. They're still together, mate. And here comes Sneaky down the main straight on the medium tyres now. And under the DRS, Sneaky is positioned on the inside. Lick's not going to let him have it. He's going to push him, and he's going to take the inside at turn 2. But that might compromise his run out of there, and Sneaky is going to have the DRS. But he shuts it, wanting to stay behind.
Yeah, it's good to save that battery. He's got all to play for, as Lick has 36, so 36 versus 83. Looks like Sneaky's playing the better cards here, just sticking in behind. Not going to ruin his tyres too much and use that advantage later on.
Zay moving past Combat Right. I think Combat Right went a little bit deep there at turn number 8. He's on those 9-lap-old mediums now, mate, and he had that spin, so they wouldn't be feeling too bad at the moment, but the new medium with a clear advantage.
Yeah, he probably wants to make it another 9 laps, 8 at the very minimum. So obviously those softs are very quick at the end. Could probably extend a bit more, but obviously you want those soft tyres as optimum as possible at the end because you'll be flying against those medium runners.
Yeah, definitely. Seconds a lap you'll be closing on these older medium tyres as the last of the soft runners does now enter the pit lane. It is Frozel. So it's now the Ferrari of Satska who's going to claim the lead.
Hop 18 places. Well done.
That alternate strategy, a safety car intervention a little later on could really benefit him, but he's got these guys closing in very, very quickly. Sneaky takes the lead off of Lick. And Kalios, who pitted a few laps earlier, mate, but he has managed to undercut onto the back of these two, and this puts him in good stead for the podium.
It looks like he'll be licking his lips here. These guys probably focus on each other at the moment, but they've got to watch out because he's zinging on.
I pulled that one out last week and Seb wasn't too happy with me, but you know what? I'm all for it. The more puns, the better.
We love it. Guys,
absolutely lovely.
Sneaky goes very wide, must have had a lock up, which leaves him very vulnerable to Lick, but Lick hasn't had a good run himself. It looks like Sneaky's just going to tuck in behind on Saxar. Might go for a move around the outside. Probably not advised. He's knocking on the door of that Ferrari, mate. He's not waiting around. He's not waiting around at all.
Well, he's got Lick right behind him. He's not in the position where he can wait, but I think he's just going to have to wait one more corner now.
Yeah,
and
he should easily have him
here.
That
DRS. But he's going to get a poor run because that Ferrari had a little bit of a snap of oversteer, and that's going to open
Lick's
the door for the Aston Martin.
They're going to go 3 wide.
Here we go, 3 wide towards the first corner. The Ferrari's just going to slip in behind with no DRS. Does Lick look to launch it up the inside? Not on this occasion. Tucks back in. He's still got that fuel to save. He's still got a little bit of battery to save compared to his rival Sneaky. But it has even up a little bit. Sneaky has used a little bit just to get past that Ferrari, I suspect. And this could prove costly for Kalios, who wasn't able to get past him. I say that, and on the exit, he just blasts past him.
Yep, see you later, Saxar.
He's going to have to do a lot of work, though, just to hold on to the back of these two. They're so quick.
You see Smitty Smitty Memphis side by side approaching turn 10, I believe it is. And Memphis is just going to be ahead for the apex, mate.
Yeah, he definitely is. He's tucked up nicely behind his teammate now, who could maybe help him just dislodge himself from the cars behind. But once again, Memphis finds himself with a very small quantity of the ERS in the battery store. And that's going to leave him vulnerable down the straight.
Yeah, maybe there can be some team orders in McLaren. Slipstream each other along with the DRS. Hopefully catch those guys up front, mate.
Just going to make sure those front brakes work as we get down towards turn number 1 at over 330 kilometers an hour with that DRS active. And here we go. A good run from him as Zay's moving past Saksa for 4th place.
Yeah, it just looks like Saksa is just...
He's going to move past him. A little bit of team orders, as you said. Combat just moving to the side, and let's see what he can do. Can he do some Sergio Perez-esque maneuvers for his teammate here? Yeah,
that backlight's still flashing, but at the moment he is faster than his teammate, it seems. So he's got 2.1 seconds to catch up to Huid, so...
Here it is, Combat's just parking the bus a little bit here in the S's, and this might be the chance that Memphis needs, but Smitty isn't going to wait around. He makes the move.
So Haas is going to get him.
Dalek's in there as well. We've seen a little bit of contact down here for him with another car earlier on, as Combat almost gets that all wrong into the back of Dalek, and the 3 of them are past the McLaren.
Been some excellent racing so far, mate. This is a sight to see. Oh, as Dalek just has a bit of oversteer, he manages to keep it, and they'll put him under threat from Frozel behind.
Ice to the lead, half a second, as we are about to commence lap 14 of green flag racing. I think it took about until lap 20 until we got about 3 or 4 laps of consecutive green flag racing last week. Many a safety car, as Lick just moving around in the mirrors of the Red Bull, just keeping him thinking about him behind, just keeping his mind busy. And that's what you're going to do, just try and get in the head of your opponent ahead.
Yeah, Lick's definitely wanting to go and get that win, and absolutely all play to him. At the moment he's just letting sticky nose there. That's exactly what he needs to do so far. He's got heaps of time to win this race.
Yeah, we're not even halfway into this Grand Prix. So there is literally plenty of time, as Frozel is around in the S's, mate, the Alfa Romeo, and looks to get going, just sort of spins onto the racetrack off of the racing line.
Oh, as rejoins pretty right. Those tyres will be very heated at the moment, so just has to play it carefully.
It was a rejoin that didn't cause any incidents, so it's one of the better rejoins I've seen in my time lead racing. I've seen some absolutely disgusting ones over the years.
Yeah, he made sure he checked in his mirrors before that. That's what you need to do.
Kalios, mate, he's dropped off the back of these 2 at the front, and he's got Zay off for company now.
Yeah,
he's got
it looks
some
like
lightning pace, but he just left it too long.
Oh, Saga Kid.
He could have been up for the win with these guys at the front, but he just left it a lap too late, unfortunately, I think, Zay, with that undercut for the 2 ahead.
Yeah. Saggy Kid and Diesel are barging and banging as we go into the front straight. Diesel just out of battery, and so is Forehead.
Oh, they're going to go 3 wide almost. The Alpine was thinking about it.
This is going to be tight.
This is very, very tight racing from these 2, these 3, these 20 drivers as we come up towards turn number 4. Can Forehead get himself ahead? No, he can't. He didn't have any DRS there. Must have been side by side at the detection point of goal.
Yeah, sometimes it's just that way. Game doesn't know who to give it to, so it gives it to no one, mate. But yeah, these guys are looking like it's just fizzled out a little bit, but I'm sure they'll come back for more. As it's getting very close up the front, it seems.
Yeah, Lick hanging on nicely, but he really hasn't made too much of a dent on that fuel saving, so that's something he's got to consider.
They're both pretty equal on ERS as well.
I don't know, but I think that would be easier for him to do if he were in the lead in maybe parts of the circuit like the S's, like turn number 10, sort of just roll it through there where there's really one line. And here we go, he's going for the lead.
It was lifted off.
Little lift there.
Yeah, he must be fuel saving now.
Yeah, well, there's not much going on in the race. A good time to be doing it, but he's still got the lead to contest for as Dalek's making the moves past Saxa, who is starting to fall down the field now on those 15-lap-old mediums, but his hard work will pay off eventually when he puts those softs on.
As he goes side by side with Smitty, just a little tap on the rear, but nothing else, as Frozzel looks like he's spun around again, mate.
He is off the circuit on the left. That probably might have been a traction out of turn 1 or some sort of dramatic spin as they came through turn 2, but he drops to the back of the field now, so unfortunate for him. He was running in a decent position in the points.
Yeah, very unfortunate for him. Maybe again, late safety car might come back into play, but at the moment, not looking too great, unfortunately.
You never know if there's going to be a safety car, or you never quite know. I thought I was with no chance of points, and somehow I find myself 5th on the circuit towards the end of the race. People dropping like flies. So you just got to hang in there. It is tough though when you've had a couple of incidents.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it's a mentality that separates the drivers. Sometimes you just have to hang in there. Maybe a bit of a shocker, but
speaking of hanging on there, Lick hangs it down the inside of the Red Bull and he moves up into the lead. And if these two squabble as Lick tries to save that fuel, Zay is rapidly closing and he's dragging Kalios with him.
Yeah, this may not play into Lick's hand again. He has to save that fuel, otherwise he will not make it to the end of the race. And he's got the other two challenges approaching, so he's going to have to think about what he wants to do come the end of the race, mate.
He does. He's got to start thinking about these things. He's in the lead now, and I don't think with the fuel saving he's got to do and the squabbling they're doing that they're going to be able to prevent the hard charging Zay. But as I said that, he's had a big snap Zay out of turn number 10. And that's cost him like half a second and maybe a shot of a DRS on this lap. But Sneaky's going to find it hard to follow up here. It's very hard to stay close.
Yeah,
you can stay within 3-4 tenths, but under 2 tenths, you feel like you're absolutely just going to ram them from behind up through turn 12. You get a big slipstream up there, and then because of that, you just have no rear end downforce. You're tucked right in behind the car in front.
Yeah, sometimes the rear end, front end just goes. You got no downforce up there when you're behind the driver, but it looks like Sneaky may come under for an attack. And no, he lifts off. He wants that DRS, mate. They are playing absolutely very cheekily.
They are, and this is what that's going to let Zay come in as they go side by side through turns 2 and 3. The Red Bull opens the DRS up the hill, so he managed to get it. But here we go. Zay joins the battle. So does Kalios once again.
Yeah, they're just holding themselves up now. They should make sure they get a bit of a move on. But at the moment, might be advantage Sneaky.
Lick's making good. He's making progress into that fuel. He's making very, very small progress. But with an extra 2 cars behind, that's just going to make it even harder for him to plan out this strategy for the end of the race.
It looks like Sneaky's just edging away now, making use of his ARS and making use of the more fuel he has as he... And now Zay is just keeping them honest, as is Kalios.
Kalios will struggle towards the end of the stint. He's on a 4-lap older hot tyres than Zay, 3-lap older than Sneaky and Lick. And we have 11 laps to go now as we cross the line, mate.
Yeah, so far so good. Every one of the 20 drivers still in this race has a very good effort from all those drivers. And now it just looks like Sneaky and Lick looks catching up. He's still got that fuel light on, mate. As we've said it plenty of times. Just looks like it's not going away. I don't know how much he underfueled, but he's just kicking in there, doing what he needs to do.
I'm sure he's got some sort of master plan.
Yeah, he's got his own L plan, mate.
He's got his own. What is the Aston Martin equivalent of the L plan? Or the master plan? Or the whatever plan?
I don't know. There's a stroll plan. It looks like Keeper's had another spin. He had one a couple laps ago, so his tyres must be getting pretty hot as we have a full course yellow.
Full course yellow. Virtual safety car is out. And, well, that must be for Keeper who had a spin. But he's got no damage. Yeah. No damage on the car. And I didn't see any other incidents, but how long is this going to last? Can Saxa, sorry, get himself into the pit lane before we go green flag racing?
As Lick's pitting.
Lick's pitting. That is very interesting. He's going to be praying that we stay under this yellows for the majority such the entire time that he is in the pit lane. And it's a pair of soft compound tyres. Not sure if they'll refresh, but they'll feel absolutely amazing for the first couple of laps. As we are still under those yellow flags, a few more drivers coming in, and we go racing once again. A drive-through for Memphis Reigns up there in 5th place. He's going to have to serve that, and Lick re-emerges just behind Psycho. And if we pull up the information here, mate, he has got 22 seconds to find to get back to Sneaky. This is a gamble. It is a gamble.
It's a very aggressive strategy, especially with that fuel. He needs to get past Psycho and Co very quickly, mate. Otherwise, looks like the win may be out of contention for today.
Yeah, he's
as he goes for a send.
He dispatches the AlphaTauri relatively easily. Just able to strike so much later, and Psycho, realising he's on the soft tyre, really not putting up a fight. Not worth it for him. He's got his own race to run, and he's in the points ahead of Saggy Kid and Vasa at the moment.
Yeah, everyone might want to watch the space.
Sorry, mate, but look at all this clear air, mate, ahead of Lick.
Yeah, he's going to be flying.
And this is not too bad for him because he can push. He's got all of that clear air. No, he won't have any DRS, but he doesn't really need it. He's going to have so much more pace. So we'll monitor that gap. And what it also has done is they're running under the reduced speed, the delta time. It's allowed Sneaky to lift himself away from the DRS of Zay, who's going to have to push and get back into that if he wants a chance of this win.
Yeah, Lick's going to be catching up by a couple of seconds per lap as Memphis Reigns pits.
Serving that drive-through he picked up for speeding on the virtual safety car.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate that Delta can just nip at you.
I think he was in the turn 1, 2, 3 vicinity when it went green flag racing, and the Delta on this game can be tricky at the best of times.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's very, very unforgiving sometimes. You just have to watch out. You have to Hawkeye it under those virtual safety car and safety car periods. Otherwise, it might be tough luck.
We've got Saxa out on the soft tyre as well. He's in 13th, and well, he's going to have to find 10 or so seconds if he wants to get into the points. He started last, so last to points. It is on the cards, but he's going to have to put in a very, very good 9 laps here to finish this race.
Yeah, so if he can get that, mate.
Lick's really got to hope these medium tyres start to drop off and his softs can hang on with some good pace. As we saw Diesel, he set the fastest lap on the last tour of the circuit, so there's some significant pace on those soft tyres.
It just looks like everyone's spaced out a little bit. Just got Keeper, only Keeper in that DRS gap, and forehead. So, fizzled out a little bit, especially with those gambles under the virtual safety car. So, approaching the end of this race, mate, it's going to be very spicy, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. So, we had Lick, Saxa, Combat Rat, Wahid, Forehead, and Mika. They were the ones who pitted on the VSC. I think Diesel went a lap earlier than the VSC, so unfortunately for him, he would have lost a bit of time out of that. As in the background, we see Wahid, mate, trying to make the move on a Keeper on those fresh soft compound tyre. He has gone deep. This might open the doors up towards turn number 4 for the Red Bull. As he puts the power down now, he's going to open the DRS. He's charging. He's juicing that battery. He's squeezing it like a lemon, and he is moving ahead of the Mercedes.
That's a very clean move from him, and he'll be on those soft compound tyres, so he is looking very good for this end of the race.
Definitely, he's trying to defend from Forehead, who
spins.
He's spun out of turn number 8, and well, Gold, you have some expert testimony on how that goes.
Yeah, I did that myself that race, and very, very easy to do. Just too much of that left side curve, and away you go.
It was almost the same situation as you. Fresh soft compound tyres, just trying to get on with it, and unfortunately, just not resulting in what could have been.
Yeah, absolute carbon copy. He's going to want to be careful up this uphill. Otherwise, he may be spinning around once again, but looks like he's navigated pretty fine. So those tyres should start to calm down. So off he goes again. Try again.
Ooh, that's close between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri, the two Italian outfits. The juggernaut that is Ferrari, the little Red Bull sister team AlphaTauri. And the Ferrari moves it, or I think holds on to the position, my apologies, of Psycho, who is on the recovery. He had some good pace in qualifying, but an incident earlier on dislodged him down the field, but he's on the charge, and so is Lick, mate. And we'll have a little look at that gap. It is now 16 seconds from the lead.
Yeah, he's slowly...
I don't know if he's reeling them in. It was 22 seconds or 23 seconds, one of the two, but at the moment I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, this gamble's looking, as the race closes to an end, it's looking like it's not going to pay off the way he wants to, but sometimes a gamble's a gamble. May go one way, may go another way.
If that safety car had stayed out until he had fully exited the pit lane, it might have given him a better chance. But he took that gamble, and he's still got that field to save. But here comes Psycho. He's going to charge again at the Ferrari. Down the main straight, plenty of battery to play with. Over 40% for Psycho. Outside line he chooses, and side by side into the braking zone. And a little bit of wheel banging, but rubbing is racing, and he moves ahead of the Ferrari. But I think the Ferrari has gone very wide back there. He's gone
Ferrari's done very well to keep it out of the wall there.
He just disappeared from the screens, but he's back on. And he's lagging. I think we should call him the laggy kid. Five laps to go as we cross the stripe for the leaders, mate. And at the moment, Sneaky looks pretty comfortable out there with a 1.7 second lead. It's fluctuating between 2 and 1.5 seconds. Zay just not able to find that half a second he needs to get into the DRS detection point.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what he needs to do at the moment. Sneaky, that is. Just maintaining that gap. He's got 5 laps to go. Shouldn't be any threat of punctures, as he is on that medium tyre, which has done 15 laps. So yep, he should be completely fine for the end of the race.
Yeah,
so if you
maybe just a little bit of, well, we've experienced a little bit of grip loss definitely by now, and really the only corner that might cause an incident or a problem for is turn number 12 at the top of the hill.
It doesn't want to go too easy, because Zay is right on his tail as the Haas goes straight on. We've also got a battle for the lead. Oh, sorry, battle for the lead. Battle for P13 against the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari. Rubbing
the
together.
Lead of this train.
The lead of this train, mate.
The lead of the P12 and downward drivers. But Frozel, he's hanging on to those older mediums from Saxa. And I think Keeper had a spin there, mate, so his night goes from worse to a little bit more miserable now. And Lick has finally caught a couple of cars.
Wahid's put himself in the wall and he's lost his front wing, mate.
It's a sad looking Red Bull and another VSC.
of BSC now. Can this help anyone out, do we reckon?
It will help Lick save the fuel, but it gives him less time to catch the leaders, and with 4 laps to go as he's coming across the line, he still has a long way to catch up to the leader of Sneaky, who is at he's between turn 3 and 4 at the moment, and he's got Keeper just in front of him, who's just emerged from the pit lane. Could that do something for Zay? Could Zay somehow get himself into the 1 second window of the Red Bull on this first restart?
I doubt it's going right down, so Keeper probably needs to get out of the way just on that restart. Obviously, he can't do it now, otherwise he'll probably get a penalty for it. Yeah, he's just backing them up. But again, that Delta's very hard to play with, so we don't know what's going on between those two cockpits.
I can't imagine Sneaky would be happy about this right now.
I don't think Sneaky would be very happy about it, but you know who is going to be happy about it? Zay, because he's just 2 tenths behind, mate, and he's closing in on that lead.
They're closing in under the virtual safety car. It's not supposed to be like that, but it is. And when do we go green flag racing? That is the question.
Oh, as Keeper just goes for heavy brakes. Oh,
here we go, back under green flag. Zay is with him.
Yeah, Keeper's got to get out of the way now. Next corner, really. That's really put Sneaky as a disadvantage, as Zay has.
The thing is, it's going to do is it's going to give him DRS down the main straight. That's the only thing he's done for him. But he's let Zay into the DRS, so he's done him no favours, and still not moving out of the way.
Yeah, that 1.7 gap is now gone, so looks like it's going to be game on between those two. Keeper still hasn't got out of the way, so this is going to be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, riding on board with the all-in Alfa Romeo. Zay, he's got the DRS. So does Sneaky at the moment. Keeper, maybe he's thinking
as he gets a 5-second penalty.
He's got that 5-second penalty for ignoring those yellow flags. Further proof that he hasn't obeyed the rules. You have 3 marshal posts to give it up, and he hasn't done that. He's held on for a whole lot longer than that. Sneaky though, he's trying to break away. He is trying his best to hold on to the lead of this race. Zay, he's going to be giving it his all, both on these very worn medium tyres, and Sneaky has gotten away.
Yeah, Keeper on those 1 lap pods soft, so he probably thought he can get away, which he is now getting away. And it looks like Sneaky has built that gap again. It's just teetering on that 1 second mark, but
it's close. It's very close.
Again, Sneaky's got all this ERS to play with. Yeah. Zay has not much. He's running out into that 10% flashing light mode. As we approach the last 2 laps.
Yeah, the penultimate lap now. The second to last lap, as fastest lap for Keeper. But Sneaky, he's got a 9/10 advantage at the moment over Zay. So Zay's going to get the DRS once again for this first DRS zone of the lap.
Yeah,
Zay's the middle sector where he really struggled to hold on last time.
Yeah, Zay's going to want to get some very good exits because he doesn't have any DRS or not much percentage of ERS at his disposal. So if he wants to keep Sneaky honest here, he's going to have to rely on the car and not the energy system.
That's it. Lick's up to 5th. He's got it's 1 second gap to close in to Smitty, and then 3 seconds ahead to Kalios. There's going to be some sort of miracle if he makes it onto the podium here. Zay, still within the DRS, is going to get a second bite of the cherry on this lap as we're coming around turn number 10 now. Back on board with the Alfa Romeo. A bit of a poor exit there, Gold, as he came out there. A bit of wheel spin. And he's burning that battery. He's just trying to stay with this Red Bull. Maybe give him a chance down at turn number 1 if he can just hang on. But that's going to rely on Sneaky making a little bit of a mistake, I suspect, out of the final corner. And he's been marvellous there all night.
Yeah, so far so good for Sneaky. He's just got 1 lap to bring it home for the checkered flag if he wants to win this race. Again, Zay's not giving up. He's got 1 second. 1 second to find. But again, that ERS is not looking too good. As
1 lap to go. The white flag waves. We have 1 lap, 1 circuit, 1 tour of the circuit here in Sakhir, Bahrain. Sneaky is leading 1.5 seconds almost over Zay now. He is pulling out all the stops. Lick, He is trying to make the moves. He's going to lick the stamp. He's going to send it. He's going to go to the outside line of the Williams. He's going to try and hang on. He's get forced onto the curb by the Williams. Smitty is not giving up easily.
He hasn't got DRS
all the time. They are both closing in on the Mercedes ahead. Here comes the Haas car. Dalik's going to try and get involved. Sneaky is going to... Slick is trying to go around the outside of the Williams. He's got the inside now. Can he sweep ahead of the Williams? He's not going to give it up once again. But Lick is still trying to get this job done. And Smitty really, really wants to hang on to this position. They are fighting on the final lap for these points, and a little bit of a slip there.
Look at this. Dalik's going to go on the left.
Oh, there's been a contact. There's almost 3 wide. Down here, Smitty picks up a penalty. He forced himself wide there. Lick gets ahead, but then there's a big snap of traction. They're all having traction loss. There's only one car with the DRS.
Lick's going to have to hold on to the left. Oh, this is tight racing. We love it.
And he gets up through turn 12 ahead as Sneaky is coming down towards the final corner now. The Red Bull man, he won in Baku. He took pole here tonight, and he is going to win this race. The Red Bull crosses the line. He wins in Bahrain. It is Zay second, and Kalios is just going to hang on those 22-lap-old medium tyres for third, ahead of Lick, who made that gamble, mate, to pit under the VSC. It didn't quite work for him. He just finishes ahead of Dalik.
Oh, wow.
Drops in behind with that penalty, 3 seconds. Psycho on that recovery drive gets some points for the AlphaTauri team. It is then the laggy, saggy kid coming across the line in 8th. It is then Memphis, who had that drive through what could have been, and Vassar, the Alpine, picks up the final point. But what a race, especially from this man Sneaky. Beautiful performance. He was tested, he was trialled, but he withstood the pressure.
That was a very, very intense finish, especially from P4, 5 and 6. But yeah, hats off to Sneaky. What an excellent drive he had, mate. Keeping Lick and Zay out of his DRS. And off he went, took the win, so that should give him 50 points. And leading very sufficiently.
Yeah, definitely. And fastest lap on the last lap for Frozel in the Alfa Romeo. He won't get a point for it, but he will have stolen it off whoever had it before him. So we made it through a great deal of the race without any safety car interventions. Just a couple of virtuals for some minor things, but brilliant racing here from these two drivers tonight. Absolute class, and class of the field again tonight was this man in the Red Bull. He withstood the pressure of Lick, he withstood the pressure of Zay, and he kept his cool behind that Mercedes on that virtual safety car restart. So well done to him. He wins in Bahrain. Zay, a great drive from him. He made the strategy work for him, the overcut, and he got himself up into second place. He didn't make the gamble onto the soft tyres, and Kalios 4th to 3rd. You can't complain with that.
Yeah, very respectful drive from those top 3 drivers.
Well, a brilliant race here in Tier 2. It was a brilliant race in Tier 1. It was a brilliant race in Tier 3. It was a beautiful round of racing here in Bahrain. And we look ahead to the future now. Next week, it is Saudi Arabia at the Corniche Circuit on the streets of Jeddah. Tune in at 5 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time Australian for the Tier 3. It is 6:30 for the Tier 1 and 8:30 for the Tier 2. All sorts of actions on the streets of Jeddah next week. We thank you all for your viewership, and we will see you on another AFR stream very shortly.